Hi everybody, Shane Monroe here, and today we're going to be looking at using your Plex server as a live TV and DVR. Now, obviously these days streaming services are becoming a dime a dozen. There's a billion of them out there. They all want to pull money out of your pocket every month, and you're probably frustrated. You thought you left cable because you were tired of being ripped off. Now you're back at streaming and you're getting ripped off. You don't want to go the physical media route, so what does a person do to watch TV around here? Back in the old days, over-the-air was the only way to watch television, and it was free. With streaming services, cable, everything's out of control trying to pick your pocket 10 times a month. It's time to go back and look at OTA. It's still free, it's in HD, and you can still watch it today. You are going to need an antenna if you want to watch it, and you're going to need some sort of a tuner if you actually want to transmit, record, or broadcast, but this all requires a piece of software in between called the Plex Media Server. Now, the purpose of this video isn't to show you how to set up these items, although I will show you the tuner and antenna that I have, but it's more about showing you how these products work together to bring you essentially an absolutely free cable TV experience. We'll start off with my inexpensive over-the-air antenna. Mine's a very old model. You may not be able to find this on Amazon anymore, but you can find other ones that are similar. Placing the antenna internally to your home, externally to your home, those are things you're going to have to figure out on your own. Again, there's great videos out there already about that. Now, I'm using the HD Home Run Connect tuner. This is, again, is an older model, but they have newer models that you can still purchase. I mean, it's not hard to get these things. There is a cost involved in that, and I'll show you a few options here on the screen while we're chatting. So you need to decide how many tuners you need. So you can buy them usually in a single, dual, or even a quad tuner, which would allow you to tune to certain channels that number of times. So let's say you have 5 TVs in the house and everybody's going to want to watch something different. Okay, so you would need 5 tuners for that if you all wanted to watch a different show at the same time. Now, that's overkill for most people. I get by just fine with a dual tuner. We don't watch a lot of live TV in my home, but we do capture certain shows that aren't available on streaming services or that are cost prohibitive on streaming services. Why should I pay for Paramount Plus when the show that I want to watch is being sent over the air every single day on CBS, right? All right, so I'm going to do this in a browser. You're probably going to want to do it in a browser as well versus using something like your phone or a tablet. So I'm going into a web browser here. I'm going to my Plex server. This is my server. This is a computer on my property in my home connected to the internet. It is housing all of my digital media, all of my movies and TV that I rip from my DVDs and Blu-rays, or I take from over-the-air shows. So in order to get this thing set up, we're going to go down to live TV and DVR. So there's 2 pieces of this, right? There's a guide because you got to know what's on, right? And there is the interface to your hardware. Now you can see right here, this is my HD Home Run Connect. And this is the address on my network. Now, a lot of people may not know, but you could copy this address and plug it into your phone or your tablet or any device that you could actually browse the internet with, and you could watch your live TV streams in the house. So we take a look here and we see my Home Run Connect has been added. Now, if you add a device, essentially it's going to search your network and look for it. I've already added mine, so there's no big deal. We have 2 tuners here, so they're both green, so they're both available right now. If these were in use by a recording going on right now, one of them would probably show up red, or if somebody in the house was watching one, they would show up as red as well. So because I have already set this up and I've already used it to scan all my channels, it knows what's available right now. So these are all the channels. Free, no streaming, no nonsense, no monthly payment, nothing. These are all channels that I have available right now. And what does that look like visually, right? So we see there's a whole list. Okay, great. So you see my local affiliates, CBS, NBC, Fox, PBS, blah, blah, blah. Plus a lot of the Hispanic channels are here. MeTV, right? There's HD versions of a lot of these channels, right? So you can see I've got a lot of HD opportunity here. But now what does it look like though? So this is great. So we've set it up. It's no big deal. We got our guide set up. Let's see what it looks like. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to actually hit my live TV inside of Plex. And this is what it looks like. Hey, if you're over the age of like 30, this should look exactly like your old cable TV channels, right? You got a guide. It has all the channels. You see what's currently playing. You see what's coming up in the next couple of hours, and you can scroll through it. And there's a lot going on here, right? Local news, local sports. Plus we have, the Univisions. We have all of the Cozy, right? These are a lot of things that people are offering on streaming services, right? So if you go to like Pluto TV, they give you access to some of these as well. But you're also on their dime and they're not going to let you record anything, right? So there's a whole bunch of reasons why you would want to use Plex for this, right? Arizona Family Sports, right? So there's tons and tons and tons of stuff here. Look at this. This is crazy. So how does it work? So essentially, let's go back up to the top here. Grab one of my local affiliates. So let's say I wanted to watch this. Well, it's already in progress, and it looks like, according to this, there's 7 minutes left of the show, right? None of this is on demand. You can't go back and watch this show unless you recorded it, right? You're watching in real time. This is like old cable TV. So I could pop in and hit watch now and start watching. Let's take a look. You can do this from anywhere. I just want to point this out. Just because I'm on my own local network, this is working out very, very well. But I could do this from a hotel 1,000 miles away. Now, you notice it looks like it's hung. When it first starts transmitting, it has to cache a certain amount of the show, just like buffering on Netflix, and it starts sending you the video. Now, obviously, I'm in the middle of a commercial, so I'm not going to get to see a whole lot here of the show because we're in a commercial. But you can see here, you've got your standard stuff. You can jump back a certain amount of time. And of course, if now you can also see it's picked up here, right? So it's showing you, this is how much of the episode you lost, and you can't go back to that, but you can scroll within what's already been downloaded. So if you really wanted to go back and look at that commercial again, you could. And of course, you're also allowed to jump forward. So you know how this works, right? You want to watch a show at 8 o'clock. You start recording it, and then you tune in at 8:20 so that you can watch it and skip commercials. This is what we did in the old days. So now you can skip 30 seconds ahead, 10 seconds back, and it works just like any other video stream that you would be watching off of your Plex server. So that's really great, right? This is great. And you can, you can do this anywhere, no monthly fees. You're saying, Shane, that's got to be too good to be true. No monthly fees? I pay one time and I get all of this forever and ever? Yeah, right? I mean, it's hard to believe. So let me find something that might be a little more interesting. Probably Little House on the Prairie is not interesting. I also don't want to get a copyright hit. So let's go to Little House on the Prairie. There's 5 minutes left of the show. So here are our options. Now, we already did the watch. What about the record? So I could hit record, and I could say, I need this episode. Well, obviously, this episode's almost over, so I'm really not going to get that one. But maybe I'll get the next one, right? Maybe I can grab the next Little House on the Prairie. It starts in a few minutes, and I can go ahead and hit record and grab this episode. And where do you want to add it to your library? Mine would probably go to TV shows off air. And, of course, you have all of your various locations for your server storage here. So if you're a Plex user, none of this should shock you very much. Now let's take a look at what is under advanced, because some of you are going to be like salivating when I show you this. So you can choose your resolution, prefer HD, but I'll take anything I can get, or HD only. That should be pretty straightforward. If you have a lower resolution item and there's an HD version available on, say, another channel or whatever, it can replace that for you automatically. Allow partial airings. So, for example, if we were trying to record all episodes and we started this Little House on the Prairie with 5 minutes left, we could decide whether we want that 5 minutes or not. How many minutes before the start do you want to happen? I usually add a minute before and a minute after. That way, in case the shows run a little bit, early or late, I don't miss anything. And you can limit it to what channels that carry the show. Now, it knows which channels, based on the guide, have this show. So you can choose which one you want to limit it to. Airing times, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, here's the cool part. Detect commercials and mark for skip. So you could also disable that, which will take away a lot of the load off your computer, but detect and delete commercials automatically. So essentially, you'll watch the show. Is it 100%? No. It's probably like 95%, maybe 90%. So I obviously do not do that. I just have them marked for skipped. and then I will go in and I'll chew through these and remove the commercials myself. But for those of you who want to play the odds, go ahead and set it up for deleting the commercials. And then you hit record. You're good to go. Very, very cool. And they just appear in your Plex library, just like anything else. So this is a great guide, right? But maybe you want something a little more succinct, a little bit more like your beloved streaming services, right? So you can go to What's On, and it will show you the channels that you've recently tuned into, what's on now, so you can kind of get a visual look as to what you could tune into at this very minute. The shows that are on now, movies that are on right now, kids shows, news, all of this stuff. Recommended for you, right? My wife watches Dr. Phil and these medical shows, right? So, of course, it knows that. What's on later that you might be interested in, blah, blah, blah. Sports, movies, you got it. So this is very, very nice. And of course, your DVR schedule. I've only got one show currently set up. Well, actually, I got a couple of shows. I got Snapped and I got this After Midnight show. And it will actually show you from a calendar view or agenda view what's coming up, whether it's new or not, and whether it's going to capture it for you. So this is great. I'm getting all of these shows recorded. I can watch them on my own time from wherever I want, and I can skip through the commercials. I don't have to pay a dime for that. And of course, we have this browse button, which is basically another way of looking at it, right? So you can use some advanced filtering, channels, episodes, airings, blah, blah, blah. So it's just another way to look at it. So you're probably saying to yourself, okay, great. So once I record these said shows, like say After Midnight, what can I do with them? Is it encrypted? Is it something that I can archive off and keep for later? Well, I'm glad I asked that question. You can see here that I'm on one of my network attached storage devices, and here's After Midnight Season 1 as it's being recorded by Plex. Now remember, it's being hosted over the air. My antenna's picking it up. It's sending it to my HD Connect tuner. That tuner is being accessed by Plex, and Plex is watching it for me and recording it as it goes. Now it's using something called the .ts format or transport stream. It's very, very big. Now you can set your DVR to record and convert later, so it can convert to like MP4, so it'll be smaller. But because I'm going to edit these later, I want the biggest, easiest format to work with. Now transport streams will play fine. I could double click this guy and I can play this right inside of VLC, right? I use something called UniConverter, so I can just grab one of these shows, drag it in here, and convert it to whatever I want, right? So I can convert this. In my case, I'll probably convert it to an MP4. I'll go in and I'll trim all the commercials out of it. And then when all is said and done, it will save it back out. And I will definitely gain some space back. But you can go in, of course, depending on the tools that you're using, and you can change bit rates and everything else. If this is appealing to you, you already know what you're doing. I don't need to tell you. But it's very simple to convert these. These are not in any sort of proprietary format. They're very easy to access. In fact, VLC will access them just fine, right? So if all you want to do is throw one of these things on and watch it on VLC instead of using Plex, you can. Boy, I'll tell you, television has gotten a lot of commercials. And that's it. So let's kind of recap, shall we? Using a one-time purchase of an over-the-air antenna, along with some sort of network tuner box, along with a single purchase of Plex Pass, you can have access to dozens, if not hundreds, of local over-the-air channels that you can then record, watch anywhere, remove commercials, skip commercials, record at your leisure, set up future recordings, and it's all done within what you probably already have, which is a Plex server. Now, obviously, if you don't have a Plex server, right, you're going to have something of that nature as well. But I figure most of the people watching this have a Plex server already, and they're looking to sideload this DVR capability into it, of which we've basically gone through the whole bit, right? We've gone from start to finish with that. It's very simple. It's a lot easier to set up than one might think. It seems daunting. I have to buy an antenna. I got to put it up. I got to find out what channels work. It's not nearly as bad as it seems. And this gives you a quick access to, forever free, right? Over the air television, local programming, local sports, local weather. the sorts of things that you may not get or even have to pay extra if you're using something like YouTube TV or one of these other type of services. So you're going to need to pony up a little up front, but you probably already have a lot of this stuff already, and now you're just trying to figure out how to maximize its usage. And this is how you do it, using Plex TV and DVR. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell. You guys know what to do. I'm Shane R. Monroe. Thanks so much for watching, and take care. We'll see you next time.